Right, so we are in the Madidi National Park in Bolivia, which is a rainforest area, only accessible by river. And we took a boat from Rurrenabaque for about three and a half hours to get up here, where we're shooting a documentary about the Our Bolivia project, who are trying to find a solution to deforestation, or at least ease the problem of deforestation in the rainforest by replanting trees. So what I'm going to do in this little video is a really quick overview of what we've brought with us. I'm not going to go in depth too much into anything. It's literally just going to be a, well, look what's in the bag, and this is what we need when we come out here to make a film like this. Right, so if we kind of work from the outside of the bag in, I'd just like to give this Manfrotto 755 CX3 tripod leg system a little shout out. It's the only tripod of this sort of size, carbon fiber, that I could find at a reasonable price that has the leveling head, which before I had one of these I was kind of a bit skeptical, and I was thinking, well, why can't I just pop the legs to level the tripod? But it really does make life a lot easier, and you know, regardless of which model, it doesn't have to be the Manfrotto. Highly recommend having that leveling system on the tripod legs. Right then, we are still with our old faithful bags here, the LowePro Rover Pro all-weather 35 litre, I do believe. These bags now, myself, Harrison and Jago, we all own one. We swear by them. One of the biggest advantages of these is you can take them carry-on on airplanes. We've been on numerous flights, never been questioned, and you can kind of load this up with a lot of heavy, delicate kit, lenses, cameras, everything. Airlines don't generally check the weight of your carry-on luggage, as long as you kind of, you know, not bending under the weight of it. So we absolutely swear by these. I've already done a review on this bag, so I'm not going to go too much in depth on that again. So if we just take a little look inside, one of the most important things, in fact, if not the most important thing, is taking care of your data. When you're traveling, we've made this mistake before, not backed up properly, and we've lost stuff. So we travel with a MacBook Air, which very light, slim, reliable, never had a problem with that. And our backup of choice when we're on the road is these little Transcend 1 terabyte hard disks. They're powered just by the USB. They've got multi-layer rubber on them, so they reckon you can drop them a couple of times, although not recommended. And then of course, to go along with that, we use this Kingston card reader. There is an SD card reader on the MacBook, but this little Kingston multi-card reader, it'll take a compact flash, SD, micro SD, which are the three kind of cards we use between all cameras. And this has been pretty faultless for, I've owned this for a couple of years now, and it's a really good one. Alrighty, so another little shout out to, you know, what's a staple in the bag all the time is the Rode Video Mic Pro, and this sits on the camera all the time. Really important to remember to turn this on. We forget that. That's the biggest problem with this thing. But it records real nice clean audio that you can use for wild track, and it's good as well when you're syncing up interviews as well. It picks up a bit more than just the regular mic on the camera, and it's really lightweight, and it just, yeah, you just sit it on the camera all the time. Although of course when doing interviews or anything important, you know, recording on something a little bit better is recommended. Although that will go on a boom pole, and you can get pretty good sound off that. We've done that before. You can't really complain. So yeah, that's another little must. Okay, so now we're going to have a little look at cameras and lenses, and we I've done something a little bit different this time. We were very fortunate to meet up with Panasonic at the photo show at the NEC in Birmingham, and we had a chat with them and told them about this trip, and you know, basically said we've been on the fence about the GH4s for quite a while, and we're shooting on 5D Mark IIIs, and you know, how would you feel about giving us a couple of loaner units to go out and make this film? And the guys at Panasonic saw some value in what we're doing, and we have on loan 2 of these Panasonic Lumix GH4s. And let's face it, I think the reputation of this camera as you know, a lightweight filmmaking camera precedes it, and you know, I don't need to you know, I don't need to big it up too much. Its reputation's already there. Coming from the 5D to this is much lighter. It really is. The flip out screen as well is something that is, you know, it's like the leveling head on the tripod. Until you have it, you don't know how much you missed it, even though you never had it, and that's absolutely excellent. I've only really got one complaint about this camera, and it's the eye cup, which every time I put it in the bag, it just pops off, and I don't know why that is. I do understand this is a pre-production model, so it might not be like this now, but yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't lock on there very well. But I mean, it's a small thing, but you know, be prepared, you might lose that. So anyway, we have a very good relationship with Sigma lenses, and we use their Art series lenses a lot, and we love them. So when we were talking to Panasonic and they agreed with this, of course I'm banging my head thinking, you know, how are we going to use our Sigma lenses? So we found a solution, and again, that solution was provided rather wonderfully by Pro AW in the UK, who are the reseller for the Metabones in the UK, and they very kindly loaned us 2 of these. Now this is a Metabones SpeedBooster, and again, for anybody who's using a Micro Four Thirds camera, or you know, an NEX or something like that with a smaller sensor, and as a filmmaker should be familiar with these in some way. Basically what it does is it's a mount that goes onto, in this case, the GH4, and allows us to put our Canon mount lenses onto the GH4. And one added bonus to that is by using the SpeedBooster, it gives you an extra stop of light, and I believe it makes the Micro Four Thirds sensor more like a crop sensor in relative size. And it's a fantastic little piece of kit. It's really solidly made. It's got a tripod mount on there, and of course you can control your aperture through the camera, which is brilliant. It's faultless, really. Absolutely fantastic little bit of kit. Right, so what I've got in my hands here then with the SpeedBooster is Sigma's Art Series 18 to 35, which previously this lens was kind of unavailable to us because we were shooting on the 5D Mark IIIs, which is a full frame sensor, and this does vignette quite badly if you put it on that camera, although I'm not sure if the 5D's got a mode where you can set it to a crop sensor. It may have, but I'm not really interested in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out the rest of the lenses that we've got. So that's the Sigma 18 to 35 there. This one here is the 24mm. That's the 35, again with a SpeedBooster on it. Now this is the one lens we've got which isn't an Art series lens. This is Sigma's 70 to 200 f2.8. For interviews on this trip, I think this has been our favourite lens. It's really nice, and the quality of the bokeh on that is really rather lovely. And then of course there's the 50mm there. So I mean, we've got Sigma's entire art series range here. And just to repeat again, that's the 18 to 35, which is for a crop sensor camera. It's not for a full frame camera. Whereas the other three, well, we'll do both, but they are full frame camera lenses. So you've got the 50mm and the 24mm and again the 35mm. If I just pop that, I'll just pop that speed booster on off there, and you can just get an idea of the size of those. But yeah, we could not be happier with the quality of the Sigma Art Series lenses. They're absolutely top quality. You know, and for the price as well. I mean, compared to the other brand equivalents, better quality, better price. Am I allowed to say that? I think so. So there we go. These are the lenses that we've got with us. This is the staple for what we're shooting with. We're currently using the Formatt Hitech Firecrest filters, which is basically your standard screw-in thread which goes onto the lens. The lens holder goes onto that, and then the square plates of glass, these in this case, these filters, slot in, and the quality is amazing. There's no color cast or anything like that. You know, you're not messing up your good quality glass with inferior quality filters, so your image is nice and clear. And there's been some really challenging light situations here, really bright sunlight, and you know, highlights getting really blown out on leaves and things like that. So you know, just popping on an ND filter or even an ND grad, you know, just makes life so much easier. So another thing in the bag which I can't show you right now is our sound recording kit, because Harrison's just sat right here with it, and what he's got, and as I describe it, we shall show you. He has a Tascam DR60 sound recorder, which I have to say is one device that I've ever owned in my life which sucks the most batteries ever. I mean, you can drain 4 AA's in an interview. It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But we found the best solution ever, and it came from somewhere we didn't really think. We have been using Goal Zero's solar panels and Sherpa 100 unit for charging our batteries and our phones and everything like that. I mean, the place we're staying here doesn't have electricity. It has electricity for 2 hours a day in the evening, which we could charge a battery on that. But the Sherpa 100 powers the Tascam for days without stopping, and you know, it hardly loses any power. The Sherpa and the Tascam were just made to go together. Absolutely fantastic. And then through that, we've got a Rode NTG2 boom mic, which is, you know, it's great quality, as you can hear right now. We also brought with us some Sennheiser radio mics, because we thought it might be a bit less intrusive. But you know what? They're such a pain to set up. Well, they're not a pain to set up. They're fiddly. You've got to clip it on somebody. You've got to hide the wire, and it's you know, you're kind of invading people's space with that. Whereas to just, you know, pop the boom mic out, switch it between a couple of people, it's dead easy, it's dead quick. And for this kind of thing, we probably won't be bringing the radio mics again. But this little setup, Tascam, Goal Zero, Sherpa 100, Rode boom pole, XLR cable, NTG2 mic, great audio all the time. It's faultless. So of course you need to monitor your audio as well, and for that we have for years have been using the Sony MDR 7506 headphones, which they say are industry standard. I believe there's also Sennheiser headphones which are excellent. I know a couple of people who use those. But you can't really go wrong with these. Only thing is that on the ear cup, you've got like this really thin, nasty material which splits and comes off and gets stuck on the side of your head, especially when you're sweaty and something like this. But you know, you can buy replacements for £7, which isn't the end of the world. So just to summarize the sound kit altogether, you've got the Tascam DR60 running off the Sherpa 100, Rode boom pole, Rode NTG 2 microphone, and the Sony headphones, and together this kit has served us well for quite a long time. And you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right, so the last thing that deserves a mention, I'll just pop that out of the way, and this thing has really changed the way that we work. Believe it or not, this case has gone on carry-on on this trip. This is the first time we've travelled with this, and there was some raised eyebrows, but we've got away with it on 2 international flights and 2 internal flights, and these were only little planes for the internal. Inside here is the Canon TV 7800 3-axis gimbal, which I'm not going to go too in depth in this right now, but this basically replaces a jib and a slider and adds a whole lot of other options for motion in filmmaking, and we absolutely love it. So I'll be having a chat about that in another video. So this is pretty much what we've brought with us. We do also have a DJI Phantom 2 drone in its flight case, which we were umming and ahhing between 3 of us. We got the DJI flight case into a hold all with a load of clothes rammed in the end, which was fine. One of us took the gimbal on carry-on. 2 of us had the LowePro bags as carry-on, and then a couple of rucksacks, and between that we were well within our weight limits, 23 kilos per bag, and with our carry-on, so you know, no excess luggage charges either. So our kit selection for this trip has I think been the best so far, but it's always adapting, it's always changing. At the moment it's pretty refined, and we're going to stick with this. So I hope that's been an interesting insight into what we take along with us. If you look in the description of this video, you'll find some links to some more in-depth talks about individual bits of this kit. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just fire away and we'll try and answer them for you. That's great. Thanks for watching. Cheers.